My one regret about this entire series, we didn't get a Darcy Jimmy Woo romance. I ship those two. I ship those two like people ship Edward and Bella. Come on, Kevin Feige, make this happen. Give the people what they want. Hello, what up everybody? I am Snaggletooth, and in case you've never seen me before, there will be spoilers. So WandaVision is a show on Disney Plus starring Elizabeth Olsen, and it follows her character of Wanda as she creates this imaginary sitcom world for herself. This show was awesome to me because I am a big fan of sitcom. When I was a kid, when I was a little dude, I used to stay up late and watch Nick at Night. And Nick at Night had all the shows, had Bewitched, I Dream of Jeannie, The Dick Van Dyke Show, The Munsters, I Love Lucy, and I still remember the Dick Van Dyke theme song. Yes, I'm a nerd. Now you're starting to understand. No, but I grew up on those. I grew up watching those as a kid. I know it's kind of weird for a kid to be watching those kind of sitcoms, but I loved them. And as I got older, I started watching the 90s sitcoms. Fresh Prince, The Parkers, Married with Children, Brandy Show, Moesha, Sister, Boy Meets World. Who didn't watch Boy Meets World? Malcolm in the Middle. I didn't watch Full House. That was just too, it was too white for me. But I did watch Family Matters, Urkel. Who didn't like, I'm a nerd. You knew I watched Urkel. Seeing this show and seeing how it calls back to some of the shows like Dick Van Dyke and Bewitched and The Munsters, and Malcolm in the Middle, of course, it really stuck a chord to me, and it really struck me right in my nostalgia. So the first 3 episodes are a sitcom, but they're also plays like a mystery because you don't really know what's going on. You don't really know what's happening in this world. There are moments where weird stuff starts to happen. There are moments where the characters flip out and they just start repeating things over and over and over again. And of course you have Vision, and Vision died when Thanos ripped the Mind Stone out of his head. So what is he doing there? And you're trying to figure everything out. And then by the 4th episode, it switches. You're introduced to this character, Monica, and Monica is actually an agent of S.W.O.R.D., which is like S.H.I.E.L.D., but in space. And you see what's happening outside this little sitcom bubble. And you have Jimmy Woo from Ant-Man, Darcy from Thor, and Monica, who was the daughter of the woman you've seen in Captain Marvel. Remember that? Monica was one of my crushes. You know, you guys all know how you have your nerd crushes? Well, yeah, she just made top of the list. But to me, being outside of the sitcom was the most boring part. Well, maybe I shouldn't say boring, because it wasn't boring. It was just like being inside the sitcom, being inside Wanda's little world that she created was the most interesting part of the series. And being outside with this Agents of S.W.O.R.D., it's just like, I was like, all right, that's cool, I guess. You know, I like Wanda, I like Jimmy, I like Darcy, but I just want to know what's happening inside this sitcom. And that brings up another problem for me that I had. The whole series is played as a mystery or as a sitcom. And then at the final battle of the series is a CGI boss fight. And don't get me wrong, the boss fight was amazing. It's an A+ boss fight. But when you've built up a mystery throughout all the entire show, and then all of a sudden it switches to an action show, it kind of takes away from what was going on before. And what was going on before was the meat and potatoes of the entire show. And then the other problem was that the character Pietro, they brought in Evan Peters from the X-Men series to play Pietro in the WandaVision series. And we all know those were separate worlds. They were separate universes. So it was interesting to see Pietro, this new Pietro, come and interact with Wanda. And then comes the reveal that it's not actually Pietro, it's some guy named Ralph Boner.
The only way Ralph would remember our anniversary is if there was a beer named June 2nd.
And that was kind of a letdown. That was kind of a letdown to see that this character it wasn't the character that you thought it was. It's kind of a waste of potential. You have this great character, this fan favorite character, and you kind of wasted him. But I really liked the rest of the characters. I really liked Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda, the Scarlet Witch. She was fantastic. She's a beautiful actress. Her costume was fantastic. Her costume looked amazing. It was probably the best costume in the entire MCU. Catherine Hahn as Agatha stole the show. Made me laugh so many times. She was a perfect casting for this character. She stole the show. Hands down, best character in the entire series. Jimmy Woo was a little magic trick he did. He finally figured out the magic trick that he'd been trying to learn since Ant-Man 2. Perfect. I love that. I love that little nod that they had. You have two witches fighting, but the best magic comes from Jimmy Woo. Oh, and let's talk about the credit end scene. So I think a lot of people are disappointed with this show because it didn't wrap up neatly. It left a hole there for the MCU to swim through. So the story can continue on in the Multiverse of Madness and Spider-Man Far From Home. The MCU is continuing. It may not continue WandaVision with a second season, but the story is going to continue. Wanda's going to have more arcs in other titles. Vision's going to have more story arcs in other titles. So at the very end, you actually see the open-ended, after credits cutscene. There's actually two. One where a scroll comes, one of those green scroll aliens from Captain Marvel comes, and she comes up to Monica and goes, "Hey, there's an old friend wants to talk to you." Monica's like, "Where's the old friend at?" It's like, "Up there." And he points to space. You know, Monica's going to space, baby. I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see where that leads because I love the character of Monica. And then the second credit scene is actually you see Wanda. She's pouring like some tea, but she's not actually pouring some tea. She's actually reading the Darkhold, which is this book of the damned and spells and magic. And I don't know, from what I know from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., the Darkhold was like a bad thing to read. Like it had a corrupting influence, and just reading this book corrupted you a lot. But that she's reading this book, she hears a call. She hears a call from her kids. They're like, "Mommy, help me, Mommy." So maybe it's her kids are still out there somewhere, or maybe it's just this Darkhold messing with her mind. I don't know. We'll have to find out later on as the MCU continues. If I was going to grade WandaVision, I would give it a 9.0 on the comic book scale. Very fine, near mint. Couple of problems, but it's worth it. It's worth watching. If anybody tells you WandaVision is trash, you look them dead in the eye, you say, "You're trash." Alright, you guys, that's it for today. Please like, please subscribe, and smash that bell icon in the corner there below. This is your boy Snaggletooth. I'm out.